She never thought her life could change in a single ordinary afternoon, yet sometimes, the most unexpected moments opened the door to eternity. She had grown accustomed to walking through the same narrow alley behind her apartment complex each day. On her way home from work, her job at the diner paid little and left her exhausted. Her shoes were worn, her spirit even more, so her world was heavy with loneliness and regret, and the laughter of others seemed distant like music from a house where she was never invited inside. She carried her bag of discounted groceries, clutching them close to her chest when a sudden gust of wind lifted a crumpled page that brushed against her leg. She looked down and saw what seemed like a book discarded near the overflowing dumpster. Curiosity pulled her closer. She bent down, brushed away the dust, and lifted a small worn Bible. Its cover cracked, its pages marked with creases and stains. It looked as though it had traveled through storms of many lives. She hesitated, wondering who would throw away such a thing. She was not religious, had never prayed more than a handful of times in her life, mostly in fear when things went wrong, but something about the sight of that battered book stirred a strange ache deep inside her. She thought of throwing it back, leaving it among the trash, yet her hands refused to let go. She tucked it into her bag and carried it home without knowing why. That night, after a long shift, she placed the Bible on her kitchen table. The apartment was quiet, only the hum of the refrigerator filling the silence. She touched the fragile pages and slowly opened to a random place. Her eyes fell upon words that seemed alive, though she did not fully understand them. She read about a God who was near to the brokenhearted and saved those crushed in spirit. She closed the book quickly, almost afraid of what she had read. She shook her head, telling herself it was coincidence, yet the words echoed inside her all night. And when she woke before dawn, unable to sleep, she returned to the table and opened the book again. Her eyes caught another passage speaking of peace beyond understanding, of a love that never failed. She felt tears rising, though she did not want to cry. She remembered her childhood, the fights in her home, the father who walked out and never returned, the years of bitterness, the choices that left her ashamed. She had built a wall around her heart so tall that no one could climb it yet. These ancient words seemed to seep through cracks she did not know existed for weeks. She read a few lines each evening, sometimes shaking her head, sometimes weeping alone. She started carrying the Bible in her bag, afraid someone would see, but unable to part with it. She underlined sentences with a pen from the diner. She whispered them under her breath. While washing dishes, she found herself speaking to the God she was not sure she believed in. She would whisper, "God, if you are real, I need you. I cannot do this anymore." And each time she prayed, even the smallest prayer, a quietness settled in her chest like a blanket laid across a restless child. One evening, after another grueling shift, she walked into her apartment and fell onto the couch. Tears streaming, she cried out, "God, I cannot keep living like this. I am so lost. Please help me." And at that very moment, it felt as if someone unseen sat beside her. She could not explain it. She felt a warmth, a presence, like gentle arms wrapping around her. Though she was alone, she opened the Bible, and her eyes landed on words saying, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." She wept harder because it felt as though those words were spoken directly to her. She began attending a small church nearby. The first Sunday, she sat in the back ready to run if anyone stared, yet the people welcomed her with kindness. She had never known the songs stirred something deeper. The pastor spoke about grace as a gift not earned but given freely, and she felt her defenses breaking week by week. She returned, sitting closer each time, until one morning she walked to the front. When the invitation was given, she whispered through tears that she wanted to give her life to Jesus. She felt chains she had carried for years fall away. She walked home with lightness in her steps. The same alley where she once found the Bible now seemed holy ground. She knew that God had taken what was discarded by others and used it to save her life. She began reading the Bible every day, not just a few lines, but whole chapters. She filled notebooks with reflections. She joined a women's group at church, shared her story, and saw others move to tears. She volunteered at the diner, not only working but listening to broken co-workers offering prayers. When they allowed, she started seeing her life not as wasted but as redeemed. Every scar a place where light could shine, she visited the homeless shelter each week, bringing food and always carrying extra Bibles to give. Away she would tell them, "I found one of these in the trash once, and it changed everything." And she watched as hardened faces softened and trembling hands accepted the gift. She no longer lived in despair, though struggles remained. She had hope. She had a future, and most of all, she had a Savior who loved her when she felt unlovable. She often wondered who had thrown that Bible away. Perhaps they never knew the seed they planted by discarding it, yet she prayed that whoever they were, God would bless them. She kept that same Bible on her nightstand. Though it was worn, it was her treasure. She could see every tear stain, every note written in the margins, every promise underlined. It was the map that led her from darkness into light. She would tell her children someday of the day she found the Bible in the trash, and how that moment became the beginning of everything new. Her laughter returned. Her eyes sparkled with peace. Her co-workers noticed her change. Strangers noticed her kindness. She knew it was not her, but Christ living in her. What once was a life marked by emptiness was now overflowing with purpose. What once was despair was now joy unspeakable. She no longer feared tomorrow because she knew she would never face it alone. So if you are listening tonight and you feel broken, if you feel thrown aside like trash, if you wonder if there is hope left for you, hear this. Her story can be your story. Too, God specializes in taking what the world discards and turning it into treasure. The same words that lifted her from despair can lift you right now. You only have to open your heart, pick up the book many ignore, and whisper your own prayer. He will hear you. He will meet you where you are. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. So do not wait for another day. Start tonight. Open your heart and let Him in. And if this story touched you, share it with someone who needs hope. Write your thoughts in the comments. Let others know they are not alone. And remember to subscribe to Faith Light Stories, where we share more true testimonies of lives transformed by grace. Your story matters. Your voice matters. Your life can be new again, just as hers was, all because she found a Bible in the trash, and her life was never the same.